You're probably already aware of how versatile and handy a good dry bag or river bag can be in so many different activities. In this video, we're going to talk about a very different dry bag from the folks at Barley. That's the Barley Dry Sack. That's coming up on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. This video, I'd like to welcome a new financial sponsor to the channel. That's the folks at Barley. Barley are the makers of this 10-liter dry bag or river bag. They also make a 20-liter. And the way the sponsorship came about was I took a kayak trip with the Boy Scouts in July of this year, a sea kayaking trip. So we were 5 days on the saltwater in kayaks. And I had been in conversation with the folks at Barley prior to that about maybe taking a look at their bags. So they sent me one. I tested it out for the week, and I got to say I loved it. So that's why I've accepted them as a sponsor for the channel, because as you know, I don't just accept anybody. They have to make sure they pass my approval so that I can feel comfortable showing them to you. Not only did the Barley Dry Sack meet my approval, it honestly became my favorite dry bag that I've ever used. So we're going to talk about why in just a minute. I do want to tell you that this is like the third time I've shot this video because I kept having technical difficulties. So we're going to cut in some of the testing I did previously to do some reasonably extreme testing on this, and we'll talk about that as we go. But before we do that, let me just tell you a few of the features that I really like about this bag and why I think it is so cool. First of all, you'll notice that it does not look like a traditional dry bag. That's because traditional dry bags are either made out of a really thin nylon type material, or they're made of really heavy duty PVC coated fabric. And this is actually made of TPU. TPU, in my opinion, has several benefits over the PVC coated dry bags. First of all, as you can see, it's kind of translucent, so it allows some light in here. The reason I like that is because I use this as my deck bag, which is kept strapped on top of the kayak, which meant it got really wet, got a lot of use on and off, sand blowing on it, rained on, salt water, the whole 9 yards, and it held up just fine. But the fact that it's kind of translucent not only allows you to kind of see what's inside. So, you know, each of us had 4 or 5 dry bags on this trip. Sometimes stuff got put in the wrong bag. So if you're looking for something, you're not really sure which bag you put it in, and you can kind of see through it and tell what's in the bag. Second of all, it actually lets some light in here so you can look inside really easily and see what you're getting. But what I really like about it is it's not PVC. If you know anything about PVC, you know that a lot of pipes are made out of PVC. It's very rigid. In order to make it flexible enough to use for a dry bag, they have to add stuff to it. And one of the things they add to it is called phthalates. Phthalates are very toxic chemicals that they have to add to the PVC to make it flexible. Most PVC also contains BPAs and just a lot of other nasty stuff. The TPU that these Barley Dry Sacks are made out of does not contain those nasty things. Actually, TPU is used in the medical and health industry because of its non-toxic properties. So if you use this for a water container, if you use it to wash your clothes while you're camping or whatever, you don't have to worry about those toxic chemicals leaching out into your water, your drinking water, or actually just getting onto your body if it's wet and you spend a lot of time with it strapped on your back or whatever, hiking across different places. Which brings me to the next feature of this bag, what I really like about it. It's got 4 strap connection points on each corner, and it comes with a strap, so you can cross strap it and put it across either shoulder. You can actually get a second strap or make another strap and carry it like a backpack. It's just very handy. Each of those connection points is reinforced with 600 denier nylon, and additionally the bottom is reinforced with 600 denier nylon. It has fusion welded seams, so it's very solid. And it's also, you'll notice, like unlike some dry bags, it's not round, it's kind of an oblong shape, which makes it really comfortable if you need to wear it on your back. Again, benefit after benefit, in my opinion. This was my go-to bag. I carried all my basic daily necessities in this thing. We'd beach our kayaks on the sound side of these barrier islands and then hike across the island and set up camp on the beach. And this bag was drug around, thrown around through the sand, everything, and it did really great. Not a single leak in this thing. It was great. If you can't tell, I really grew quite attached to this bag during that week. So that's kind of what I see as the differences between this and a standard PVC bag. Another thing I like about the Barley is they put the instructions right here on the bag that tell you that you're going to fold this thing 4 times. That was always a question because it's really kind of up in the air. The other bags, you don't know. So if you don't know and you're not sure, you know you got to fold it at least 4 times. So speaking of that, let me back you up a little bit and we'll talk about one thing that's really important that you know about this and pretty much any dry bag. Okay, we're almost done rambling, and I'll cut in some of that extreme testing I did. But it's important to know about this dry bag and pretty much any dry bag is that you want to fold it. It comes with these stiffeners right here. You want to fold it over the stiffener. You don't want to just roll it up, because what you're trying to do is get a really tight seam and seal. Now what's great about this is on the inside, it is all TPU, so it does a really good job of adhering to itself. So here's the recommended way to fold this bag. You start with the instructions away from you. You're going to fold it over one time over the stiffeners, just like it says. That's one time. You'll notice it's got this other little extra piece of material that comes out. It kind of gives you a counter fold just to help increase the seal. Anyway, it's just to fold it 4 times. So we fold it once, fold it twice, fold it 3 times, fold it 4 times, and then buckle it back towards you on the opposite side of where you folded. Now you notice what you have here is you have sort of a balloon. I mean, it's blown up because not only is this barley sack watertight, it is airtight, which in a boating situation is really good, because if this thing were to get away from you, it would float, not sink, which is great because you'd be able to have a better chance of getting your stuff. And I suppose, even though this is absolutely not an approved use of this, not a recommended use of this, Barley doesn't mention this, I don't recommend this. In an emergency, it might provide some flotation, we'll say it that way. But definitely not going to be Coast Guard approved. Another advantage of TPU is that it is really flexible in cold weather. If you're familiar with the standard dry bags, they're already pretty stiff. They get really stiff when they get cold and prone to cracking and everything else. The TPU absolutely stays flexible in cold weather. And in order to test that, I actually fill this thing up with water, put it in the freezer, let it freeze, and check the flexibility of it. So we'll just cut in some of the other footage. As you can see, not only was there a big chunk of ice in the bottom here, but it is still extremely flexible. And I just think that is a good benefit if you're doing some cold weather camping with this or using this thing in cold weather. It'll be a lot easier to use, and we don't have to worry about that problem. Another great benefit of the TPU is it is not only extremely abrasion resistant, but it's very puncture resistant too. In order to test that, I took a pretty sharp piece of wood and stretched the heck out of it, tried my best to poke a hole in the bag. And although it did thin out the material a little bit and stretched it out just a little bit, it did not puncture it and did not make a hole, which and I really gave it all I got. And then finally, the other test that we did, put in the submersion evaluation assembly here at the testing facility at Survival on Purpose Worldwide headquarters. Left it in there about 30 minutes. Everything stayed dry. And I wasn't surprised by that, because again, I use this bag every day for a week in saltwater, harsh environments, and nothing got wet. Everything stayed dry. It was just a really great bag. Another thing that I like about it is, I don't think you're going to get a PVC bag to roll up that tight. If you want to store this in your pack or whatever, it's just a good thing to have with you, I think. Whether you're boating, whether you're rafting, whether you're kayaking, or whether you just put it in your pack. And this is a good way to have 10-liter water storage, weighs less than a pound, very heavy duty, not like trying to put some kind of cheap flimsy plastic bag in there, and you can carry stuff in it. It's just got so many uses beyond a typical dry sack. The fact that it is so flexible makes it very comfortable to carry. You can kind of see what's in here. You can put, if you got the 20-liter, you could actually put it in your pack and use it to waterproof your gear. Just all kinds of great benefits to this Barley Dry Sack, in my opinion. Anyway, I'll stop rambling now. If you can't tell, I really grew quite fond of this dry sack during our week-long excursion in the salt water. Chuck Norris makes onions cry. If you're looking for a good way to keep your stuff dry, with the added advantage that you don't have to worry about those nasty toxins in your water or on your skin. Plus, in my opinion, it's just got all those other features too. I highly recommend the Barley Dry Sack. So they're available on Amazon. I will put the link below in the description. And they're giving the viewers of this video an opportunity to save 20% by using the coupon code OKDrySack. And I'll put that down below too. You can just copy and paste it or whatever in the link, and you can save 20% on both the 10-liter and the 20-liter. Once again, thanks to the folks at Barley for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching. As always, thanks for subscribing, thanks for clicking that thumbs up, for sharing this video with all your friends, and thank you so much for doing all your Amazon shopping through the Survival on Purpose links. I really appreciate your support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time. And the phthalates
phthalates,
the non-toxic aspects.
phthalates.